Hello, friends. I'm Pastor Steve Sherwood, pastor of Fairview Baptist Church in Kokomo, Indiana. And I'm hoping that our congregation is watching this, but I wanted to introduce myself for those of you that don't know who I am. You may have seen some of the puppet videos and what have you. But I want to share a story with you today. About several years ago, Evelyn and I were in a little church in Richmond, Indiana. The name of the church was Jubilee Christian Fellowship. We met in a little storefront, and over a period of about 5 years, 800 people came through the doors of that church. Most of them came in very wounded from congregations they came from. And what happened during that time was they were healed up and sent right back. Most of them went right back to those same congregations and wound up ministering within those congregations then, which was amazing. At one point, towards the end of our time there, the Lord revealed to the pastors on staff that this church was a MASH unit. Well, came a point a little later on that one Sunday, all three ministers got up, and the Lord spoke to us, spoke the same thing to all three of us, and said, "I'm done here. I want you to close the doors and move on." And it's kind of a shock to our system, but we met that morning in the pastor's office. I was the children's minister, and we met there and we prayed together and said, yes, we believe this is what God is saying. You know, He is the God who opens and closes doors, and we need to be obedient to that. Well, the thing that happened then was, as we announced this to the congregation, one of the godly men in our congregation said, for the last 5 years, you guys have been serving us communion once a month, and we want to serve communion to you guys today. And what a beautiful sentiment, and we were like, yeah, that's great, but we don't have any of the elements. We don't have the bread, we don't have the juice. And one of the other guys says, hey, there's a gas station across the street, let me go see what I can find. A few minutes later, he came back, I kid you not, with a bag of hot dog buns and peach Schnapple. And that's what we had. And so that's what we wound up using that day. And we all had communion together. And what a beautiful, beautiful thing it was. I've had a few of you ask me, are we going to be able to have Good Friday service? Are we going to be able to have Easter service? And given it much prayer and much thought as to how we can go about this. And what we're going to do is we are going to have an online communion service on Good Friday. That'll be a week from this coming Friday at 6 p.m. And you will get an email from me as to how to get logged into that. And I want to encourage you in the meantime to try to figure out what are you going to use for the elements, the bread and the juice, and whatever you have. If you have time to get to the store between now and then, and you can get some kind of like matzah bread that doesn't have any leaven in it, that'd be great. But if you don't have unleavened bread, we're going to trust that God's going to bless this, because we're using what we have to remember what Christ has done for us. And you might even be able to go online and find a way to make your own unleavened bread. I'm sure that you can do that as well. But I would like for each of you to prepare enough for each of your families for a week from this Friday for us to be able to share a communion service together during this very difficult time. But I'm so grateful that we have this venue that we can meet together, that we can meet through video and phone calls and what have you. And so I want to encourage you to continue to pray for each other and to prepare for a wonderful Good Friday service a week from this coming Friday at 6 p.m. God bless you, and I hope to see you then.